Hey, I'm Jenny, also known as Pretty Princess 5, and this is...
Ciara, also known as Pretty Princess 6.
Right, we're doing an basically embarrassing moment. We're going to basically try and record all the most embarrassing moments we've ever had. And I think Ciara should go first with the first one, she said to me, and then I'll go, and then she'll go.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Alright, I'm going to get my notebook on.
Not the first time.
Shut up. Basically, where I live, everyone's got new bins by the council, and on top of the bins is like this grey stuff that you can scrape off with like your nails or whatever. And I've already scraped off all the stuff from my bin. But anyway, I was walking home from school, and I was just walking up my road. This is like 2 doors away from my house. I was just walking up the road, and there's a bin, and all the grey stuff is on it. So basically, I've got my keys in my hand, so I start scraping off all the stuff on the top of the bin. And then I look up, and outside the house where the bin is, there's an old lady looking at me like a what the fuck look out of the window. And I'm like, oh shit, what have I done? So I just quickly walk off. I was just like, oh my god. And so then I was walking up my path, and just as I turned around to see that house, the old lady had come out to check her bin and was giving me a really dirty look. And I'm like, shit. So I like ran into my house.
How many of you actually have done that to someone's garden or bin or whatever you do to your neighbours, and then your neighbour is actually staring at you and actually witnessing you do what you're doing? Either it's a cat or a dog, probably a Yorkshire Terrier, considering they're old people and they like Yorkshire Terriers. Stereotype. Okay, an embarrassing moment with me. I was walking in Guildford with my friend, and at the time we were holding hands and we were skipping.
Carry on.
She's burning stuff again. Anyway, we're skipping, and because it's up a hill like that, where you walk up, I'm skipping up with her, and I ended up tripping over someone's foot and knocking someone in front of me over, and along with me falling over and face planting, I dragged Chrissy with me, who at the time is in a skirt, and it's very windy, and it's a very busy town centre, and she goes over and her skirt rides up, and I'm there, and because I've fallen over, my hand is under her, so I can't move without lifting her up. My hand is near this woman who's I've knocked over. Knocked over. Get it? It has October in it.
Okay, carry on.
And I'm stuck on the floor because I can't get up because Chrissy is laying on it because she's fallen flat on her face. I've fallen flat on my face. Someone's fallen flat on their face over in front of me because I knocked them over. And there's an old man back sitting on a bench laughing because I tripped over his foot. That is not fun because it was so busy. It was a Saturday, and Saturdays and town centres are not an ideal place to be and trip over. Okay.
Oh, I've got a really good one. You haven't had this one. Basically, my school we had a school production, and I was being a singing person in the background. It wasn't the main part or anything. But anyway, it was based in like the 60s. So we had to wear like the poodle skirts and everything like that.
Oh my god.
And the only thing I had was one of my modern dance skirts. And you know at the back of the modern dance skirts, they've got the slit, and then it's only done up by Velcro and you can still see the hole. Yeah, I forgot entirely about that hole. So I was wearing my modern dance, my thing. Of course my t-shirt's tucked in, so there's nothing covering the back of it. And this is like the final show in front of all the kids in the school. So there's me dancing around in my little modern skirt, and I come off, only to see that all my friends told me we could see your underwear the whole of that show. I felt like shooting myself in the head. It was horrible. I was like, oh, and also like back then I had a crush on this boy that was in my form, and he could see it as well. And we were just like, oh, shit.
Fuck.
See, your mother agrees.
an embarrassing moment for me, Kira's had this. Basically, it was when I was really young, and I wanted these pair of shoes for school, and they were amazing. I loved them. You know when you're a little kid and you're like, I need that, and everyone will love me and ask where they're from?
I'm like that now.
Right. But you know that feeling. I hope you know that feeling where you want something just so people would be like, oh my god, they're amazing. Right? I wanted these shoes and my parents wouldn't let me have them, so I kicked up a strop. And this was once again in a town centre where I used to live. And my dad picked me up, put me over his shoulder, and I was kicking and screaming. And he walked out the shop, and in the middle of the town centre, there was an old lady in a wheelchair, and I kicked her in the head while I was over my dad's shoulder because I was kicking and screaming, and I kicked her in the back of the head, and this little old lady is just sitting there like this, right? Little paralysed old frigid lady just got booted in the head by like a 7-year-old. And I think she enjoyed that day trip out. It was hilarious though. Embarrassing. Yes.
Okay, alright. This one's a bit like the first one that Jade read. I was out with my mum. This is like not too far ago. It was like a week ago. But I was out with my mum, and we're in the shopping centre, and I've got like these big trousers, like, you know, like the proper gothic genie trouser things. They're really long, they touch the floor, and I was also wearing these pimp soles. They have no grip on the bottom, and you know what shopping centre, you know what mall floors are like.
Yes.
Fucking slippy shit. And I, in my opinion, in my defence, I reckon they've been washed. The floors. Basically, I was with my mum, and I saw my favourite shop. And I was like, oh my god, mum, look at that shop. And I sat like grunted towards it, and it was like down a slight ramp thing. So, lose grip on my shoes, stand on the back of my trousers, face plant onto the floor. Old man comes up to me, are you alright, dear? And I'm like, do I look alright? I just face planted in the middle of a shopping centre with about loads of people around. And I've already got people staring at me as it is. So yeah, that's another embarrassing moment for me.
Okay, what's another embarrassing moment for me?
I've got another one, but you go first.
Trying to think.
This one looks like a penis, like the bell end.
Oh yeah, I would say I was in Guildford, and I was in McDonald's eating, and I felt really sick that day because I haven't been eating much. And I go into the bathrooms, right, and there was no one in there at the time. Go to the loo and everything, and I opened the door, right, and all of a sudden the door is unlocked and open because I'm about to go out, and I turned around and threw up everywhere. Just as I turned back round, there was a little girl staring at me, standing in sick, because it went around me. It actually went, I threw up this direction, and it went behind me as well. I don't know how, but this little girl is in little sandals with no socks on, and I've just thrown up, and she's standing in it, and she goes, "Eh!" And I'm just looking at her and like, I am so sorry. Her mum comes in and goes, what's wrong, dear? I turn around and say, look, I'm really sorry. And she turns around at me and goes, oh my god, you just threw up on my child, you dirty skank. I'm like, oh my god! No, I didn't, I'm really sorry. Chrissy is laughing at me. This is on the same day I tripped over. Not only did I trip over, I threw up. And she's laughing, and I'm standing there getting shouted at by someone from Essex who's got a little girl covered in sick all over her feet because of me.
Dirty little scat.
Shut up. Do you have any more?
I have, yeah.
Good.
Alright. My friend, Caleb, he's a dickhead. Basically, I'm gonna stand up for this one. Well, I'm gonna crouch down like, oh. Anyway, so I was with my friend, and this is my old school, and he is chasing us around with sticks twice his height, and he's quite tall. So he's chasing us around with giant sticks. and I have a problem. In my right knee, I have a spasm. So I'll be walking along and my knee will have a spasm, and I'm like, oh shit.
We call it her yodeling knee.
It's my yodeling knee. But anyway, this is like the first time it ever happened to me. This is when I first found out I had a knee spasm. I was running away from him, and there's like, once again, the Ciara dreaded hill. There's a slope on my old field. So I'm running down that, and I have a knee spasm. My knee starts fucking yodeling. And I face plant in front of everyone. There's you know, it's a pattern here, Ciara face planting 24/7. Because, yeah, that was quite embarrassing. It was in front of a bunch of, like, kids not my age as well. And I was like, oh, I'm sad now. But yeah, my life is just an embarrassment.
Yeah.
If you watch me walking down the street, I just embarrass myself.
Yep. What's another embarrassing moment for me?
When you had anal with you.
I'm really confused.
Yep.
I would have to say the most embarrassing moment with my mum would have been, we were sitting in, where was it? We were sitting in this restaurant thing, and I'm just sitting there, and she starts talking to me, and I'm just not listening. And I go, what? And she goes, what? And we were just saying, what, the whole time. And then in the end, I get up, and I say, this is confusing! In a retarded voice. The waiter was standing next to me. I didn't notice the waiter. And as he came to our table, I got up and shouted that at my mum. I look round, and there's a waiter there, staring at me. And I look at him as if to say, I am really, really sorry, but I can't say anything, so I'm just staring at him. And he's staring back at me, and he stares at my mum. And my mum turns around to me and says, you are retarded. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, I'm not. I'm not retarded. And I want to go to the waiter and say, I'm not retarded, am I? I'm not retarded. But he looks at me as if to say, why aren't you in a mental home? Do you have any others?
I have plenty more, but I don't remember them off the top of my head, so I'm just going to leave it at that for today.
Yeah. Right, I got one more. Right? With Chrissy in Godalming. Walking up. And I tell her about the whole gingers have no souls thing. And evil monkeying. There's this really chavvy ginger woman walking. And we go past her. And Chrissy turns around, does the evil monkey and goes, you stole my soul! This woman turns around and says, you what? I'm stealing your soul. You taking a mick out of my hair. And she's like, don't go any closer! You're gonna rape me! Oh my god, you're stealing my soul! Jade, she's stealing my soul! And I'm thinking to myself, why did I tell her that? Why? She's still evil monkeying. And this woman goes up to her and says, I'm gonna fucking punch her in the face. And she's like, no, don't touch me, I'll get AIDS! No! Eye contact! And I'm sitting there, doing nothing, just laughing. But it's one of those things where you don't want to laugh, but you just do, by accident. And I'm just standing there in silence, and I go, awkward laugh. Woman turns around to me and says, are you taking a piss out of me? I'm like, no, I'm finding this really, really funny. Which is the bitchiest thing you could ever say. Right? Chrissy goes, run! She'll steal your soul! And as she's running, she's doing this as well. And I'm just standing there with this ginger woman in front of me, shouting at me. And then I tell her, look, I'm really sorry, it's a misunderstanding. Okay, I will make her apologise. So the ginger woman walks away, right, slowly, just giving us evil glares every now and then. And then Chrissy shouts to her, "Ginger Slag!" and runs. And I'm not fit for running, I've just been terrified by a ginger. And so you just see this ginger blob hurtle down the road. And I'm standing there like, what the fuck has just happened? And Chrissy's running very fast, shouting, "Gingers! Ginger apocalypse!" I don't know what to do with my life anymore. So, don't you laugh. I'm stuck with Ginger. She stole my fucking soul. It's like one of those people, you know how don't make eye contact, they'll give you AIDS, they'll steal your soul, right? But she's shouting at me, and you have to make eye contact, so every now and then I'm like, yeah, look away. So yeah, these are our embarrassing moments. This is a tag video thing, so tell us your embarrassing moments, and hopefully they're not as embarrassing as ours, but if they are, fucking hell no. Because
you are a failure at life and you should kill yourself. Just joking, suicide isn't funny. Yes it is.